أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. 11th of Dhul-Qa'd is the birthday of Imam Redha alayhi salatu wassalam, and there is a small salawat that is recited in the sacred shrine of Imam Redha alayhi salam. I'll recite that, and you also can repeat with me slowly with your mics off. And that is one of those beautiful salawats that you recite in the sacred shrine. اللهم صل على علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى الإمام التقي النقي وحجتك على من فوق الأرض ومن تحت الثرى الصديق الشهيد صلاة كثيرة تامة زاكية متواصلة متواترة مترادفة كأفضل ما صليت على أحد من أوليائك اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Now Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has created us all, and He has created this entire universe, and that is also for us. So He created everything for us, whatever you see in this world, and then He's given you some guidelines, some rules, how to do, what to do, how to live. And as the creation of the Almighty God, He has guided us, sent the guidance in the different forms. One of them is in the form of the prophets. He sent 124,000 prophets to guide us, to teach us how to live on this surface of this earth, and how to arrive at higher and higher ranks in the hereafter. Because we don't know anything, He has to tell us, He has to teach us. So He sent the prophets. He sent the prophets with some books, and those books, one of them that we believe in, is our book, is Quran. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has given some needs and requirements to every creation, like for example eating, food and drink. When a person is hungry, he needs food, he needs water to drink, and to survive he needs to eat. This is for every other creation, for all the animals, the plant kingdom. If there is food, they will survive. If there is no food, they will not survive. Just like that, God, He has given us this instinct within ourselves that we need a religion, we need a deen. If this existence of mine, the true deen, is given to it, it will be satisfied. If that true deen is not given to it, it will go after every other fake deen, fake religion. Like ladies or even men, they sometimes like to have all these accessories and some kind of jewelry they want to have. If they can't afford real gold and silver and diamonds and rubies, they go to Claire's and buy the artificial jewelry just for that. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Just for their own satisfaction. So if the real one is not given, they go after the fake one. Just like that, relationships, or like every animal, every plant, every human being, he cannot live alone. He has to live as a family with his wife or with her husband. So if that is not given in the right format, they will go in the wrong format. So we see that there are needs and requirements. If they are not given to ourselves properly, they will take it negatively. So when we get hungry, we need food and drink to survive. So He has given guidelines. What are the guidelines? You need to eat halal. You need to eat food that is pure, that is tahir. And if someone doesn't eat halal, it isn't as such that he will not eat nothing, he will eat haram. So if he doesn't take the right deen, he will go after the wrong deen. If he doesn't have relationships, as Allah has mentioned, as the Almighty God has said that you have to live as a married couple, then if they don't abide by this religion, by the divine orders of the Almighty, they will go and live a haram relationship life. So there are these needs that He has given in us, and they need to be fulfilled in the right way. So food in the right way, and that is halal. Religion, the right religion, and that is Islam. Relationships also, when you have with someone, that has to be a married relationship, and only then will that be a halal relationship, and the children will be halal children. So the whole system Allah, He has created and He has made. Now, we have been guided after the prophets via the Imams. So a person, he believes in the Imams, and these Imams are also divinely appointed by Allah. It isn't as such that some people get together and they say that this will be my Imam from this day onwards. No. Imams, like prophets, they are appointed by Allah. And when Allah has given them such a huge, big designation and a job, Allah has given a big assignment to the prophets, to the Imams. Like, for example, to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, He has given a huge, big assignment, and that is the guidance of the entire planet Earth. So He has to guide everyone. He has to teach everyone. He has to make this message of Rasulullah reach every corner of the world. Now, when Allah has given him such an assignment and He has appointed him for that task, then it is upon him that He helps him. So He helps him in different ways. One of the ways how He helps is by giving him and making him infallible, that he doesn't commit sins. One of the other ways He helps him is by giving him a lot of knowledge. So he knows everything. He has all that knowledge that he needs to have this big mission on his shoulders. For that big assignment, he has to support him. So He supports him with people, with human beings, by angels, by giving him a lot of knowledge, by giving him every support, by making him infallible, and by appointing him Himself, makes him the Imam. So we have to come and pick an Imam who has those qualities. And if we don't go after this Imam who will be our guide, then people, they will be misled and they will go after any other person. So that is why so much of importance and emphasis we give in eating halal, in having a religion, and the religion has to be a true religion. And if you don't go after a true religion, then people will go after every other fake religion that has come up. If they find nothing, they would just sit and meditate just to satisfy themselves. So there are needs that we have in us, and those needs should be fulfilled and taken care of properly. Imam Redha is our 8th Imam, and he is ma'soom like all other Imams. He is the son of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salatu wassalam, and alaykum salamatullah. He was born on the 11th of Dhul Qa'd, and that is the 11th month of the Islamic calendar. Imam was born on a Friday. His father is Imam Kazim alayhi salam. His mother's name is Najma. Other names also have been reported for her, like Tuktam, Tahira, and Samana. Imam, his title is Redha. His kunniya, and that is when a person gets after his child, his name is Abul Hasan. His kunniya is Abul Hasan, and he becomes an Imam at the age of 35. For 20 years, he was the Imam. Now, on the ring of the Imam is written, MashaAllah, La Quwwata illa Billah. Or sometimes on the ring it was written, Hasbi Allah. Hasbi Allah means God is sufficient for me. God is enough for me. Imam was poisoned by Ma'mun, and is buried in Mashhad. Mashhad is in Iran. Now, Imam Redha alayhi salatu wasalam, he says that Allah, He has sent the book Quran, and this book Quran is the strong cord of Allah, a strong rope. If you hold on to this rope, you will be safe. So Quran, Imam says, is like a rope that is hanging and that is connecting us to Allah. So the stronger you hold on to it, the safer you will be. So Imam says that Quran is that strong cord or the strong rope of Allah, and it is that safe handle. Sometimes in the buses or even in the cars, in planes and trains, when the train is moving, you hold on to a handle. Because when the train is moving, if you don't hold on to something, and if the train stops, you will fall down. Or if the train is moving fast, you will fall back. Not to fall, not to harm ourselves, we hold on to that handle. Imam says Quran is that safe handle. Hold on to it, cling on to it. And Imam says Quran, it's that evident path that will take you to the heaven. Quran, it is that guide that will save you from the fire. And then Imam says it is for everyone. Everyone. If a non-Muslim wants to read Quran, let him recite, let him read, and then he will learn from it. If a Muslim recites, he also learns from it. So Quran is that book, it is for everyone. Everyone benefits from it. Some benefit by the presence of Quran, some benefit by reading Quran, some benefit by reading and understanding Quran, and all these are different benefits that we have from Quran. And evil, it never comes to Quran. Quran is that beautiful. Imam says that if you feared something, or if you were worried, or you had some problem and you found no way out to have your problem sorted, what do? Imam says recite 100 verses, 100 ayat from Quran. Any point of Quran, just open the book and then start reciting 100 ayat, and it's not too much. If someone can recite Suratul Waqi'ah has 100 ayat, or you recite that surah, you've done that 100 ayat. And then Imam says, after you've done the recitation of those 100 ayat, say to God, Allahumma kshif annil bala, that God remove this test and trial, remove this grief, this distress that I am going through, and the problem will be solved. So how beautiful Imam mentions and helps us. And even the Prophet says the same thing. He says that when you are stuck and when you find no way out, just take the Holy Quran, open it and recite from wherever you want, and it will be a means to find you a way in that dead end that you are in. So Quran is beautiful. Always be connected with Quran, bonded with Quran. And in another hadith, Imam Redha alayhi salatu wassalam, he says that Allah has given aql, intellect, to everyone. So you understand with that intellect, that brain that you have. And then says, if you want to know if you have a good intellect, there are 10 qualities that are given to that person who thinks well, who understands well. First of all, that person who has a good intellect, good is always hope from him. You never find him for anything bad. Whenever you want something, you go to him and he will help you out. So he always good is hope from him. Secondly, people are safe from his evil. There are some people who are nasty, who are bad. But this person who Allah has blessed him with intellect, with aql, people are safe. There is no evil in him. And then the little that the little people do, it is a lot for him. And the good in abundance he doesn't count it. He may be doing so much, may be helping so much, may be supporting so much, but doesn't recognize what he has done. And then no matter how much people they come to him for help, he never minds. So he is never tired of learning, never tired of teaching. And then for him, being poor in the way of God is better than every rich and every wealth. That is as a result of obedience and that intellect that Allah has given to him. Now, being disgraced in the path of Allah for him is better than honor with Allah's enemy. So this may come, and we ask Allah never to test us in these ways, that sometimes you have to pick and you have to choose a path and a party and a person. Now, if you choose a person for the sake of God, and then you are with him, you know he is right, she is right, then you are safe. Sometimes people don't do that. People go and join the enemy because that is where they get a lot more. So that is bad. Someone who has been given with intellect, with understanding, they never choose an enemy for their support. Now this person, he prefers to be unknown than being famous. He does not see another, but that he sees him better and more God-weary than himself. So whenever he sees another person, he says that he is better than me. If he is older than him, he has done a lot of more worship. If he is younger than him, he has lesser sins. And if he is of his own age, then you would say that he is better than me. So these are the beautiful things a person can have when Allah gives him wisdom, gives him intellect, etc. So Imam Redha alayhi salatu wassalam, he says that if you are like that, Allah will help you, and all these beautiful benefits also will be given to you. Now people, when they want help, they come to the Imams, and Imams also they give, and they give a lot. May the Imam be alive or may he be passed away. Like today when we go to Mashhad, to the shrine of Imam Redha alayhi salam, it's his grave there. Or when we go to Karbala, it is the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So we believe and we behave just as if they are alive. So if the Imam was alive and he was in his office and we went to see him, how we would enter with all respect and adab. The same thing is done when the Imam has passed away and we visit his grave and his shrine. All those etiquettes have to be observed even when he has passed away. And the benefit also, it's the same. Whether the Imam was alive and you go to him and you ask for help, he would give you. Now that the Imam has passed away, you go to him and you ask for help, he will give you. I'll tell you a story, and that is one of these wealthy businessmen in Iran. He had just one child, one son. And he used to take his son to all of these international trips that he traveled. Now one day in one of these trips, he took his son to Europe, and the son also falls in love with one of the girls there in Europe and says to his dad, I want to marry this girl. Father says, we can't, you can't. She is not of the same background as we are. We have a cultural gap between the two of us. We have a religious gap between the two of us, and you cannot marry her. He insists and says that it's only that girl I will marry and no one else. Now the father also speaks to him, the mother speaks to him. He wouldn't listen to any one of them. Now it so happens that he returns to Iran and comes to Mashhad. The son is also accompanying the father. They are in their hotel. And one of his friends, he comes and says that today they are cleaning the dhari of Imam Redha alayhi salam. Dhari, it's that place where the grave is, and there is a grill around the grave for people to come and stand and respect and kiss and perform their ziyarats to the grave of Imam Redha alayhi salam. He says that they are cleaning, dusting the grave. I've got one ticket if you want to go and see and be there when they are cleaning. Once they have emptied the grave, they put so much of money there. All that is taken away, and the dust that is in the grave, it's all dusted out, and they wash the grave with rose water. So the father says, if you could get me one more ticket, I'll go there with my son. So he goes there with his son, and they are cleaning emptying the haram, the zari, with all that money, and dusting. Now the father was standing out near the zari, and he says to those people who are inside the zari that, can I have a bit of the dust of the grave of Imam Redha? Now people take that dust as tabarruk, as respect, and they place it in their graves when they have passed away, so that also is a means of barakat for them, a means of blessing for them in their graves. He says, if you could give me a little bit of that dust of the grave of Imam Redha alayhi salam. Now the people inside the zari who are cleaning and dusting the grave, he picks up a pinch of dirt, a pinch of that dust from the grave of Imam Redha. Now those of you who've been to Karbala and Najaf and Iran, etc., you know that the zari, it has got two grills. There is a outer grill and there is an inner grill. And people, when they put money in the grill, they put it from the outside grill, and there's a little bit of a gap between the two grills. So the person inside the zari, he picks out a pinch of dust, and he wants to give it to this person, to the father of that young boy who is outside the zari, and his fingers, they wouldn't reach because there's a gap of about 15 centimeters between the two grills. He wants to give it from there, but it won't get here. He also cannot take it from his hands because there's so much of a gap between the two. Now what he does inside is he sees that there's a piece of paper in the zari on the floor. He picks up that piece of paper, puts the dust in that paper, and then rolls the paper like that, and then slides this paper outside from inside the grill. He gets that and gives it to his son. The son also folds and puts it in his pocket. Now the ziyarat ends, and they come back to their hotels, their rooms, and they were reflecting of what a beautiful day it was in the haram, right so close to the grave of Imam. And the son, he was reminded of the dust of the grave of Imam Redha alayhi salam. He takes it out from his pocket just to see what it is. He looks at the dust, and the paper that was the dust was rolled in. There's a letter that was written to the Imam alayhi salam by a young girl. She says that, I am poor, my father also, he's extremely poor, and the job he has, it's one of those jobs that people, they are paid less. He cleans the streets and sweeps the roads in Mashhad. And so until now no one has come to marry me. I have kept myself clean and away from every sin and haram. Imam, you help me. And she writes that letter and she puts it inside the zari of Imam Reza alayhi salam. And she had signed it and she had written her name. Now the son who had fallen in love with this girl in Europe and wanted to marry that girl now says to his dad that, I want to marry this girl. This letter that she has written to Imam Reza, I want to marry her. Father says, we don't know who she is, and I don't know where she is, and how old, nothing. The son says, I just want to marry her and no one else. He says, much better than the European girl. Now they start tracing and finding who that person is from the municipality of Mashhad, and they find the address and they come to that place. A very poor family living in a very poor neighborhood. And when they see this huge big car has come to the road, which was never seen in that area, they thought they must have come from the TV shows to have some kind of a documentary made over there. They knock the door and they say, we have come to see you. Says, yes, that's me. And then they say that we've come to seek your hand for my son. To the daughter they say, are you sure you've come to the right place? They say, yes, we've come to the right place. Now the father says they were so poor, says, I can afford to buy them a new house, a new living, and then you can marry her. The son says no. Whatever they are and whatever status they are in, I'll marry them as it is. So within a week they got married, and the girl, she is shocked. How come within a week everything changed? And then she asks the groom, her husband now, that what brought you to me? And why did you marry me? How did you know me? Who introduced me to you? Then the son, the newly wedded husband, he takes that note out of his pocket and says, this was. And then she sees, this is a letter that I wrote to Imam Ridha alayhi salam. How did it get to you? Then he tells her the story of how that letter got to him and how he got to marry that girl. So we see Imam Ridha alayhi salam, although he has passed away, but this beautiful network that is present even today for every one of us, from the Imams alayhi salam, we get all the blessings and the benefit from the Imams alayhi salam. So Imam Ridha is also known as the kind Imam, and in Arabic and in Farsi he is called Imam Rauf. Rauf means very kind. Whosoever comes to the Imam is blessed, he benefits. Whatever you want, you can get from him. Now we cannot travel in this lockdown. You can sit here wherever you are and you can have a communication with the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.